Guys, we are on our last week of Illustrator, and we're going to continue with exercise 20 today. This is going to be advanced pattern tile on garments. So what we are going to do is first get on our Illustrator, and we're going to start a new page. And make sure it's a landscape, because we have to do a lot of different pattern tiles. Now, I would say make sure you go to your window and get your swatches showing. Oh, my swatches are on my other screen. So I'm going to put that in here. And my layers, I don't really need my layers for this one. Okay, so first we want to get our show grid. So you want to show the grid. You want to get your rulers showing. Show rulers. Now we have our rulers, we have our grid. On my grid, I want to go to my preferences and click on guides and grid and make the subdivisions 8 instead of 4, because right now there are 4 boxes in each square. So I want them to be 8 subdivisions. So I selected 8 here and it just turned it into 8. Okay, so we're going to start with this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and kind of go to the beginning. So the first thing we want to do is create our motif, and we're going to do 3 different ones. So let me just show you what we are trying to accomplish here. This is what we are trying to do. We're going to create 3 different patterns, define them as patterns, and then put them in a box. And then we're going to put them on an outfit from our Snap Fashion images that I provided. So we're going to do a striped fabric, a plaid fabric, kind of a twill view fabric, and then you'll do your own creative design. And then we're going to put those on our garments. You're going to have 3 of these, but then the 4th one will be just scaling one of those patterns to see how it looks on a scaled one. Okay, we're back in here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our first motif. So let me just put motif here. I'm going to say motif, and motif is the basic element of your pattern that repeats to create the pattern. So we're going to say the motif. Maybe I'll actually move this here, because we're going to put all of our motifs here for each design. All right, let's start with the first one. We want to select a color. So we're going to do our stripes first. So let's just pick this color first. And we don't want to have any stroke. And if I can zoom in a little more for you, I'm going to use only these 3 boxes. And by the way, if you want it to be easier for you, you can always go to View, Snap to Grid. That way, whatever you're drawing will snap to the corners of these little subdivisions, and it will make it easier. So make sure you select the color, no stroke, select the rectangular shape, and we're going to use these 3 boxes for the rectangular shape. And it's going to be a stripe, so you don't really need to go any longer than this. And then we're going to select a different color for the next one. Okay, we got out of it. So we're going to click on the rectangle again, but this time let's select a different color. Okay. And now I'm going to make sure the stroke is also unselected. So we have our second stripe. We can do a 3rd color. Let me see what color would go well with here. Oh no, we wanted this one to be that color. Okay, get out of that so that it's registered, and then we're going to select one other color. Let's see, maybe we can do this color. And we are going to do that. Okay. I mean, if you want to add another color, you can. You know, maybe I will do that actually. So let's go to our box, select one more color. Maybe I'll do a little pink. Okay, so this is going to be my motif, and that's all I have to do. Now, each of those are separate right now. So if I wanted to move them, you know, it moves separately. But if you want to group them, you can do that. You can go to Object, Group, after you select everything. And now it will be just one piece, so I can move this as one piece. Now, the first thing you do is make sure you select everything, and you're going to move it to swatches. Okay. Now you see that that pattern appears here. So now we're going to make a rectangular shape for our pattern. So what we are going to do is, okay, so if you get that menu, you can select a 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. And when you say okay, it will draw at 2.5 by 2.5 for you. And on this shape, we can actually have a black stroke. And the inside color doesn't matter because we're going to fill it with this pattern. So you're going to go to your move tool, move it down here, and we're going to go and select this, and it's going to give you the stripes. Okay, so now we have this one done. Okay, so let's move to our next motif. So we're going to start our next motif right here. I'm going to zoom in again. And we're going to do our next one. Our next one is going to be more like a twill. So for this one, we can go to our rectangle tool again, and you can select whatever colors you want. I'm going to go with the same colors again, just so you can see the difference. So I have, and then of course, make sure you don't have any stroke. Okay, so no stroke. We have the purple selected. We are on the rectangle tool. So I'm going to make this a twill pattern like this. If you want, you can select another color to go here. Oops, sorry. It just changed this one to a yellow. You have to get out of it before you make those changes. Okay, now we can go to our rectangle again, select our yellow. And when you say snap to grid, it's easier to just create these. And then if you want to put a different color on these edges, okay, so we have that pattern. Again, we can select everything, go ahead and group it under object. And we just slide it into the swatches. And now we have the swatch. Now what I'm going to do is you can copy paste this, or again, you can go to your rectangle tool and select. I mean, if you just click on the area, it comes up with the measurements. So you can say 2.5 by 2.5 and say, okay, and you have this. Now I'm just gonna go select this. So now this is our plaid fabric pattern, kind of, right? And it has that twill view. So that's gonna be the second one. And then let's just move on to our third one. The third one is gonna be a creative design. So you can do whatever you want with this one. So what I can do with this is maybe I can get, oops, you don't want to change that. Make sure you get out of this. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool. Maybe I'll create a base first for this. And I'm going to use this color for the base. So okay, I want to do my motif right here. So for the base, I can do this. I don't want any stroke. All right, so I have this greenish color. Maybe I'll change that color to a lighter color so we can create some pattern. Okay, this is no stroke, and this is going to be this color. All right, and now what we can do is create something here. For example, we can even just get our flat pattern, select it, copy, and come here. And I wonder if we can paste it on top of it. Okay, we pasted it here. We could do like that. We can change this. You know, we can play with these. We can ungroup that and change each one. So let me ungroup this one. So now it's all different. So what I'm going to do here is I can just move this one with my direct selection. Let's see. Okay, I could do that. I mean, you know, you can create a different design, and you can also go to your symbol sprayer. Let's get our symbols showing. Click on my symbols. We can select one of the symbols. Maybe we can do this one. And I'm going to go to my symbol sprayer. I'll just put one. We could also do a flower, obviously, or we can select another shape. So let me just find something else here. Let's see, we can do a different flower. Can get this flower here. Okay, we do that. I can also just do random things. You know, I can go use my line tool, for example, and select a stroke in maybe this. Let's do this in purple color. And I can go here, make this line. I can create this line here, going that way. Maybe I can make a star. Let's do a little star here. And we can do the star with the, let's see. I'm going to select this bluish color here. Okay, and create a little star. And it has a purple line. So I could do that too. So, I mean, you can play with this and do whatever you want to do with this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and select everything, object, group, and then move it to my swatches. Now this is a pattern I have. So now I'm going to create another rectangle with 2.5 by 2.5. And now I'm going to fill it with that pattern. And this is what we get. Okay. So if I zoom out a little bit, you can see my patterns. All right. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to put these patterns into outfits. If you open Snap Fashions on the side before you start this exercise, it will probably be better. So you just pick something from here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this one and copy and then paste it here. So I'm going to have to paste 4 of these. So we have 4. It's all done. So now we're going to go select this. And for the first one, this is going to be very easy. You just select this to make it the pattern. Except it kind of goes all the way around. If you select something like this, you may have to go to Object, Live Paint, Make, go to the Live Paint bucket, and that way you can just select the pattern and then put your pattern on here. If you select something simple, more like this, which is one piece, I think it will be easier to put the pattern on it. So you can pick this one if you want it to be easy, but if you pick something like this, you better go to Object, Live Paint, Make, so that you can make that, you know, paintable in separate parts. Okay, on the second one, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Object, Live Paint, Make. Again, you may not have to do this if you're using a simple pattern. So I'm going to go to my Live Paint bucket and select my plaid design. And we are done with this. On the third one, I do the same thing. Select, Object, Live Paint, Make, and then I select the pattern. Oops. Actually go to Paint bucket so that it doesn't paint the whole box. Okay, so we got this. Now on the third one, I'm gonna do the same thing. Go to Paint bucket. I'm going to use the same pattern on that fourth one. The only difference is I want to scale this one. So select this, right click, go to transform and scale. And of course, when you scale, make sure you unselect transform objects because we don't want to change the t-shirt. We just want to change the pattern. And then you can select, let's say 20% and say, okay. And it's going to scale the pattern to at 20%. Okay. So now we're going to write down, I'm going to zoom out so that you can see what we have. Okay, so we have our motifs, we have our patterns, and now these are our designs. So we can type these here. This is the striped fabric. And this is our plaid fabric, our creative design. I'm going to say scaled pattern. Let's see, fabric. Okay, so we have those 4, we have our motifs. So let's just put a title over here as well. This is advanced pattern tile on garment. Okay, and you can make this a little bit bigger if you want. And this is it. So let's move it away. You can always get rid of your grids now because you don't need them anymore. And now we can go ahead and save this. I already saved it with the name exercise 20 advanced pattern tile on garment. Okay, and we are done with this now.